Hi, I'm Romi.
And I'm Nicole. Welcome to the Her Pursuit Pod, where we share our journey of building our business, The Daily Drip, a dynamic media platform that provides content and community for more than 4,000 South Florida female CEOs, founders, business owners, executives, and professionals.
Whether it's through our newsletter, events, or this podcast, our hope is to inspire your next big move and arm you with the tools you need to crush it. So tune in on your drive to work, wind down with us after a long day as we share our journey and the journeys of other remarkable business leaders on Her Pursuit.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Yes.
All right, but we are joined here by a very special guest, one of our Daily Drip thought leaders, Lisa Lafrance, who is the founder of the Lafrance Project and a very well-known, prominent advocate, philanthropist in the Palm Beach County area. She is a leader. If you don't know her, go to thedailydrip.com and check out more about Lisa Lafrance. But we're here for a special conversation, and that's why Lisa was invited onto the show, because we want to pick up where we left off and talk all about the importance of leaving a bigger impact, doing more, and how the business community and our community of leaders can get more involved in the philanthropic scene, in the nonprofit scene, all the ways it helps you develop as a leader. But today we're going to talk about all the ways it could also help your business and also help the nonprofit organization and then ripple into the community at large. I'm going to kick us off with our first question of the episode, which is really kind of to both of you. I guess, Lisa, I'll kind of kick it to you, and then Joanne, you'll jump in. But really, how have donor and corporate giving expectations and motivations changed?
So that's a huge question with a lot of different potential answers. I think that our donor community really wants more engagement with the nonprofits that they're supporting. So they really want to get to see the work in the community and be part of that work. And it's really coming from a place of wanting real engagement and wanting to be part of a community and find community. And we can find it through our philanthropic work. So I think that desire is one thing. I think in terms of how they analyze nonprofits, I mean, you were talking earlier, maybe talk about now, that it's very important for them to get to meet you and see you and see the work. And that's sort of parallel to what I was just saying. But there is also, metrics are still important. It's going to be data is our future, right? I mean, it already is what's gotten this society to evolve to the point it has. But the way that it's going to affect nonprofits and philanthropy, the potential is just incredible. So we have to think about how we can use data to tell our stories, because the story part will always be important, but metrics and data are going to be critical as well. And I could go on and on, but I'll pause and see what your response to that is.
It's great that you said data, because that is exactly what they're looking for. That is the change. Say 20 years ago, data wasn't important. Today, data tells a lot about the impact. It tells how you're making a difference. It shows the change of what happened last year versus this year. So data, they're very data driven. They're also very into relationships and partnerships. Mm-hmm. So collaborative partners is another thing that has changed. It used to be where, you go after that and it's just this one person. Now they look for those partnerships. Who are your partners, who you're collaborating with, who's helping you to get and to make that impact. So that is one of the changes that has happened. And like we said earlier, they want to see who's behind that. Your individual donors want to go out. They want to meet you. They want to have lunch. They want to talk to you. They want to know, what are you doing to grow your organization? So they want to do that. The grantors, before they give you the grant, they want to come to your organization. They want to take a tour. They want to interview you. They want to have that conversation with you. So those are some of the things that have changed over the years that I've seen with grantors as well as individual donors.
It's very reflective of, I think, the community, society, business, everything that we are going through. People want to know the people behind brands. People want to know who's leading organizations. People, and not just their titles or what their resume looks like. Who are they? Who are they as people? What matters to them? What drives them? Why are they doing the work that they're doing? What inspired it? They're looking for the trust. They want to know where their dollars are going, and they're getting behind these initiatives because of the leadership in the organization, because they're really investing in that, trusting that you are doing what you're saying you're going to do for these people, and they want to see it. So beyond, like, it's almost like being an investor looking at a company. Investors are now asking different kinds of questions too. Like they care more about who the founders are. They can help with whatever nuance or whatever's going on in the business, but they care about the people they're investing in beyond just the dollars and cents that are there.
And we've talked about this before. I don't know if any of you have seen the other podcast I did, but my background was in investment management, and it was in quantitative hedge fund management. But it was quantitative analysis of qualitative information. So, we were looking at human behavior and investor behavior and taking advantage of, faulty thinking, frankly. So yes, I think that the nonprofit sector, and since I've started my work in the nonprofit sector, I very often do apply investment theories and concepts to the way I look at things. So qualitative and quantitative. But I have a question for you, Joe Ann, and it's not a trick question. You don't get it. There's no right or wrong. But have you heard of a database called Cause IQ?
No.
This is what is a problem in the nonprofit community that I am dedicated to fixing. Can I take a little side trip here down my origin story lane? So,
Ask you, is it similar to Blackbaud? Because I know that was the big thing back in the day.
I don't know. I'm going to tell. It's more similar. It's similar to Candid, but like way better. Okay, so when
For the nonprofit people at the table, can you paint a picture?
I'm going to, but I have to.
I feel like Lisa just
All right. Well, maybe I need my own, but someday. My problem that I had when I came to Palm Beach County was there are thousands of nonprofits in Palm Beach County. So how am I figuring out? Because I have a quantitative mind, I wanted to be able to do some analysis to decide who do I want to support. So by finding Impact the Palm Beaches and getting involved in collective giving, which I think is very powerful, we can talk more about that, I learned about the nonprofit community. And all along I kept saying, why wasn't there a database? Why wasn't there some database? And people would say Candid, GuideStar, that. But it's not really what I'm looking for. I can look up each organization and look at the data, but I can't take data across time, across industry, look at trends. And all my nonprofit friends said, I know, wouldn't that be amazing if we had that? I finally found it. It's called Cause IQ. So Cause IQ is a database that takes all the 990 and 990s, for those of you that don't know it, are the tax filings that every nonprofit has to do. And it's not just the nonprofits that are doing the work in the community, the Dress for Success and the public-facing charities. It's also all the private foundations. So, and I will show you this when we leave, Joe Ann. I can go into Dress for Success and I can see everybody that's given you money. Likewise, I can go into a similar organization and I can see everybody that's given them money. And through this sort of triangulation of the data and playing around in the database, and there's like 1,000 other cool things it can do. It's my favorite toy right now. It's just opening up avenues of connectivity and helping me to bring the people together that need to be together. So that's what Cause IQ is. I'm happy to do a demo for anybody that's curious.
I'm glad you shared that, Lisa, because I know a lot of donors, when they're looking to give, we've been, directing them to Charity Navigator, which is very similar to GuideStar. I know Charity Navigator has improved, where they're showing a lot about the accountability of the organization. They're putting the data in there. They're asking you to upload your 990. So they're giving a lot of information as well. So maybe they know about the new one that you just talked about. So they're trying to upgrade theirs, because for many years, everybody has gone to Charity Navigator to see if I want to donate to that particular organization. And they look for scores at 95% or higher. So if many of them will turn if it's not showing that. So yes, I'd love to learn more about that one and make sure that we're involved in it.
Can I comment on the GuideStar ratings? Because, okay, I'm going to be controversial. I don't like them. They are based on that old paradigm of please spend all your money on programs and nothing on overhead. And if you don't show the proper percentage to different things with a significant majority going to programs, you'll get a bad rating from them. And that's just not necessarily the case, right? We learned in the Dan Pallotta Q&A and the event that we did in January that we have to spend money on marketing. If we can't market and grow, how can we scale and help more people?
I'm chiming in on this one. I got Lisa's sequin microphone. No, I cannot emphasize enough what you just said, because now Romi and I are heading into our 4th year, and I'm going to now segue the conversation away from donor expectations and now into business expectations, corporate partnership expectations, small business expectations. And I remember when Romi and I were first starting out, we had very limited budget, typical founder, typical startup scenario, but we knew we were very strategic. We were looking for community. To your point, we were looking for how can we find organizations that have the type of people we're looking to serve and we're looking to be around. We're looking to collaborate with and partner with. And I remember we first started with organizations where a lot of the leadership and operations was volunteer led. And it was a challenge. It was a challenge to partner with them. It was a challenge to get any initiatives off the ground with them, any collaborations. It was a real challenge to move the needle in any meaningful way, not just for us as the sponsors or the partners getting involved, but for them. It was heartbreaking to see so many people involved, contributing, volunteering, and really nothing happening except a signature event that barely makes it across the finish line, right? So then we started working with organizations like Dress for Success, organizations that had leadership teams in place. And even though many of them were small but mighty, and some of them were running on fumes, people that were there and held accountable to the progress and the results made it so much easier for us to come along and say, we want to support you, and we have a whole media platform, and we have all kinds of communication channels that we can lend to you, and here's all the ways we can promote and tell the story of your mission, of your signature events and initiatives, of your programming, of your people. Here's all the ways we can come beyond writing a sponsorship check. Do you want to sit down and work with us? And many of them said, yes, please. And that was the minute that we realized, oh, now not all nonprofits are created equal. We're looking for specific ones that are action-oriented. They are ready, willing, and able. They're impact-driven, they're results-driven, and there's a professional accountability on the other side of this partnership. But it's funny because then fast forward, we've gotten the opportunity to work with a lot of, I would say, in business, we call them emerging mid-market, right? They're crossing a threshold. They're not these small grassroots organizations. They're also not giants, they're somewhere in the middle there. And there is the same pain point that every business has, which is what got you here won't get you there. And you need talent, and you need resources, and you need expertise, and you need modern and relevant strategy and tools in order to get you there, right? Yes. And so I say to any of the business owners or business leaders that are listening to this, that is your opportunity to get involved in the nonprofit sector. That is the gap. Can you come in with these resources, with this expertise, with this time that you can give to these organizations and help them close some gaps? At the Daily Drip, we're a media platform. That is what we do. Marketing budgets are slim. They're running in the red half the time. So we come and say, let us be your marketing partner. Let us help you. Let us help you share your story, your people, your initiatives. And here's all the ways we can do that for you. And, right? So when you're looking at who you want to get involved in, how you want to get involved, to Romi's point, she mentioned it, I think, in the last episode, and I'm sure she's going to bring it back again because this is something that she's so passionate about. It's more than just stroking a check. Do not think that because you don't have a big budget and you can't go and do the presenting sponsor package, or you don't have a big check to stroke, that you don't have something to give. Because we, as two founders starting out, realized what we had to give and what gaps we could fill. And it has literally built our business. We have built a whole business, and we have built ourselves as leaders on the backs of sharing our resources and our skills. Yeah. So that's my soapbox.
My entire network was built through connecting with other business with other business leaders that had the same values as me. I knew that I wanted to be in a room of that where I was going to learn from them professionally, but that we shared a value, which was giving back. And I think one of the biggest lessons and the big aha for me in my involvement through various organizations was that I didn't have the bank account, but I had this ability to mobilize people. I had this and I think that when there's business leaders that are looking to get involved with an organization, what people are going to buy into is your passion for what the mission is. So don't just join a board because you've heard that that's how you should do it for your business and it's a good look. Join something that it lights you up, because that is how people get on board. Yeah. My involvement with cystic fibrosis, I didn't have a connection to it, but the mission, the community, the people, there were so many things and elements, and as a mother that I connected with, that when I shared my passion for it, it made people take an action. They wanted to get behind it. So when you share stories about the women that have been through, and I even have goosebumps, and you see people like Nancy and who've been involved in your organization, they're buying her passion for it. That's what they want and get involved in. They want to get behind what the love and passion and commitment to the mission.
Great point about it's not about always writing a check. The time and talent is so important, and we look for that. We have several vehicles and avenues where people can go in order to become a part of Dress for Success. We have our Young Executives program where we look for young executives to come together. We try and do something quarterly where they can come together, learn more about Dress for Success. As a result, we recently had one of our young executives who now gives back. She works for Clinique and also through Ulta Beauty. She comes and does makeovers for our women in our job readiness program, show them how to wear their makeup, not wearing too much, how you do that, skincare. She talks about that, and she also gives back. She has many of the corporate companies now have where you can volunteer your time and they will give the money back to the organization, whatever your hourly rate was. So every month we get a stipend from her that comes through from her company, showing how she's giving back, and she learned about us through our young executives. So it's very important. You see many organizations now who have the young executives that are helping to learn more about, and then they're moving into boards as well. So a lot of the young executives are being prepared. How do we get on boards? So we're trying to reach those young executives to help to teach them now how to give back, because we know a lot of the older generation already understand about volunteerism and how to volunteer before writing that check. But a lot of the younger generation don't necessarily know that. So young executive programs really help.
I think you said something really important that I hope our fellow our community of business owners, especially entrepreneurs, are listening to, which is that what you can do in terms of matching time for dollars is just another example of a very low lift where the ripple effect goes a long way, right? So whatever that hourly or whatever cost is being attributed to not just going into the organization, but the development of this person as well. There's so many ways that people can get involved and be effective and help move the needle.
Yeah, and I love what you said about making sure that you're aligning yourself with a mission that really speaks to you. That really is the most important thing. So one of the parts of my business is talking to people about how they can give their philanthropic dollars in meaningful ways. And it's a really important topic, especially in Palm Beach County right now with so many new people that are moving into the community that want to get to know the community, want to get involved. But again, they're faced with that, oh my God, there's so many, what do I do? And so my first question to them always is, what are you passionate about? And, I get a different answer, and then I say, okay, these are the organizations you might want to talk to. And what's really important, too, about this conversation is I don't know what you see I'm sure you have a wonderful board, but many of the small organizations that I work with, they need help at the board level. They really need, desperately, good board members that actually roll their sleeves up and are working board members, not just members that want to come and have their name on a board. And so I also look at that as a huge opportunity as facilitating. And again, maybe, people in our audience right here, they want to get involved with a board. let me know. I can help you. We need good board members in these smaller nonprofits and larger ones too.
So I have a question for both of you, because Lisa, you have a window into so many nonprofits, and Joanne, you're at the helm, driving the ship of Dress for Success. And so the question is really for both of you in your in your respective perspectives. I don't even know why I chose to say that. Okay.
That was challenging.
But my question is, can you tell us a story that really kind of wraps this all up in a bow, speaks to the way businesses and corporations are partnering with nonprofits differently? Is there a story that comes to mind or an example that really kind of illustrates what we're talking about here?
I'm going to tell you one thing that I've started doing since coming to Dress for Success, and I think it is very rewarding. Even though people give, and we talk about time and we're talking about giving, people want to be thankful what they're doing. People want to feel appreciated. So I've started this breakfast where we thank our donors, like we just finished, as I shared with you on the last episode, our annual fundraiser. And so we had many new givers who came on board. So we've now invited them to come out for breakfast to just to thank them. We're not asking for anything. We just want to thank them for, being a supporter of Dress for Success and for their time and their talent. And so it's an opportunity for them to come. And, when you get 30 or more women who have RSVP to come to a breakfast just so they can be thanked, it shows you that people really want to know that you appreciate what they did for you. So I feel like appreciation is just so important. I believe in making sure that I let people know when they give that we really appreciate what you just gave to us, because it goes a long way. That thank you means a lot to anyone. It's those two words, thank you, can go so far with any donor and with any organization.
I think what you see a lot of, especially like if it's through a board or it's through any of like active involvement in the nonprofits, is it is real burnout. Like it happens. And when people feel like they're just doing and doing and doing and they don't feel appreciated, it's how you kind of lose the interest and the enthusiasm of the people that came on. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think telling people how you feel about them, better or worse, but usually for the better, hopefully for the better, and letting them know like just how grateful you are for whatever they're doing. Like I think we grossly underestimate the power of people feeling like they matter.
Right. And so I actually know a donor that will write like $100 checks to a whole bunch of nonprofits and see who thanks her and who doesn't. And I want to go back to that overhead thing again, because it's really important. I think I want to really, really nail it. I have a friend who runs a nonprofit, and she does it beautiful, actually kind of aligned with what you do, all volunteers. And she's very proud of that fact that it's all volunteers. But one of her struggles is that she can't get her thank you letters out very quickly. So there's, she said, I got like a 3-month backlog of thank you letters. And I'm like, you will never scale and grow and help more people if you don't actually hire someone. It's like we can all 2X by not sleeping, but we can't 10X if we don't build a team and invest in people. And we have to be willing to do that if growth is one of our goals.
It's great that she's saying that, because people want, even if it's $100, they want to be thanked. And so even to have volunteers that can help you write out the thank you letters, because they want handwritten. They don't like those electronic letters that you send out. People really appreciate you when you take the time to write on a little card or something. Thank you so much for your donation, and to let them know that you received it and you appreciate them. And not just your donors, even your volunteers. We do quarterly thank yous for our volunteers to let them know how much we appreciate them. And it goes a long way. I just can't stress that enough.
You know what's funny? And doesn't it go a long way when you do that for your team? Or when you do that for a client? And so what are we really talking about here? It's this civility,
values,
humanity,
being good, like just being a good person.
It's a sign of I'm bringing Rome.
I live and die by that.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
say your famous line.
Don't
into the secret.
Don't be a dick. I mean, it's just so. I think like what blows my mind more and more, and the more I've been exposed and the more we've grown, is I can't believe how much people underestimate just the importance of just kindness, just basic kindness.
I think too, just as we get more digital, as a society, as a this hybrid world we're living in, where there's in real life and then there's online, and both are reality or some semblance of reality, right? But they're both very real in our minds and in our lives, and they're both motivations and triggers in both worlds. But I think just as we get more digital, as things become more automated, right, or artificial, as we move in that direction, humans are starved for human connection more and more. We want the thank you note. We want the breakfast. We want the community. We want to know we're a part of something. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing? We're just walking around this planet isolated in like our silos. We want that connection. And I think to your point, it also connects to what you're saying, Lisa, about investing in team and not being so program driven, but having a philanthropic having a nonprofit leadership team that recognizes the importance of that and goes for it with their donors, with their grants, and all the ways, but really prioritizes human capital. Right. And not just the human capital side, but the technology, the resources, the tools, all in all, to say growth minded and to be growth minded.
Growth mindset. Yes.
To be growth minded in the 21st century, you've got to have a balance between tools and technology and human connection. That's who's winning.
Hard skills, soft skills.
And the human connection is stronger and stronger when you participate and you gravitate towards an organization with other people that are clearly aligned with what you feel, what you care about. And it also, what I've found and what's been a really cool part of the experience of participating in various nonprofits is you come together meeting people that in your regular everyday life you would never meet. But this common passion for this one cause and mission is drawing you into someone you would never ordinarily have met or spoken to. And I have met, like, it has changed my life. It's changed our business, like all of that. And so the benefits are exponential. Like I think they're infinite when you participate in this way, like in who you're meeting, and just like, I don't know, it's just so much better to do it this way.
It's fun. When I go to different events for some of the nonprofits I support, I end up seeing a lot of the same people. So, the other night I was at Extraordinary Charities Talk Derby party to watch the Kentucky Derby. And it's like walking into a room full of my friends, like a big party with all my friends. And I feel that way, every time I go to an event, which is, once or twice a week, actually. But it's changed my life too. And it can change all of yours. Just get involved.
That's a great thing. Get involved. That's important. Yes.
Like, I think, it was such a natural thing for me to get involved in nonprofit because I was raised without being told. My parents were actively involved. They also, it's not like we had, big fat checks to write, but my mom and my dad were both leaders in organizations. My grandmother was a leader in a nonprofit organization. It was not even a discussion or a thought. It was such a natural thing that I was just getting involved and kind of figuring out where I fit and where could I have the most impact. And I'm watching it happen with my kids. And I say that to say that as a business leader, like, lead by example. If you want your company to represent and stand for something, you need to get involved. Roll your sleeves up. You can't just tell or plant people. Get involved. Be passionate about it. Do it as much as you say it. Like, that's what inspires people. It's not just telling them to do something. Do it, live it.
And show your joy and your passion as you're doing that. So in other words, that's how you then influence people. And we're talking about coming together, but we're talking about coming together just so we can make an even bigger impact than we can by ourselves. So for me, I call it the when Harry met Sally marketing model. And I'm like, I want people to see me out there having so much fun, because I am. Say, I want what she's having. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's happening now. And it's really exciting.
I love this. So, okay, I wanna wrap this episode up.
No, are we almost done? Yes. Oh, I didn't get to say any of the things I wanted to. I need my own episode. Sorry,
Lisa. Don't worry, we're gonna have you back for more. We're just getting started with the Lafrance Project. No, but I want to leave our audience with something tangible, actionable. So, Joanne, I'm going to start with you. and I want it to be specific to Dress for Success. If we have an audience member right now who is a small business owner, or maybe a young executive or an executive leader who's listening to last week's episode, this week's episode, and they're saying, damn, I got to get out there. I got to get involved. What's the piece of advice you would give to them? How should they be thinking about this? And when it comes to Dress for Success, where should they start?
Great question. Number one, pick up your phone and call today, 561-249-3898. Let them know you're interested in volunteering, and they will tell you when the next volunteer orientation will take place and how you can get involved. Or go to our website, dressforsuccesspb.org, and all the information is right there on the website. This is how you get involved with Dress for Success. And I think we said a lot here today. We need you. We appreciate you. Right now, we run our organization with 5 staff members and 116 volunteers, and you can become that 117th volunteer. We need you. We appreciate you, and we will show you just what volunteerism is all about and how you can engage with like-minded women and enjoy working at Dress for Success. Thank you.
Love it. No excuses. Phone number, website, no excuses.
We have the Lafrance Project and part of our website that is being built as we speak. I mean, we have a landing page with some decent information on there, but it's going to be expanding significantly. We're going to have a significant volunteer section. So Dress for Success, you will be the first one on the list to say if people want to find a place to volunteer, it's Dress for Success. But we're going to have links and because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is increase the flow of information in this sector to make it more efficient and effective. So anyway, you have a question for me, but so is this question to me now?
It's going to dressforsuccess.org or the Lafrance Project's website. Yes. What is something tangible, actionable that someone listening to this right now should be doing? How should they be thinking about this if they're ready to make a move?
Okay, so first of all, I can share that this is a very legitimate marketing model, and for the businesses out there to actually do 100% of your marketing budget to philanthropy and to community. There's a really wonderful law firm in Palm Beach County, Lesser and Landy, and that's what they do. They don't advertise anything, no billboards, no print, no TV, and they are just at every major event in the community. And that's how they have visibility, and that's how they have support, and that's how they're now going to be celebrating their 100th year in business. And they're really a wonderful, wonderful, heart-driven firm.
Which you can tell, and that's the thing. That's built their brand.
Yeah, that's their brand.
This is a business that cares about involvement in the community.
Absolutely. And what better branding to have, right? So I would suggest that as a marketing strategy. I would say definitely reach out to me, because I am somebody that if you have a certain passion, I can help guide you toward that. And can I take a minute to explain why I have these books on the table? I support a critical literacy bookstore called Rohi's Readery, and she's doing an incredible event in Harlem in September. And I also happen to be very good friends with a woman named Susie Edwards, who's an artist and who wrote these books. And I connected Susie with Pernod, and Susie has, by the way, just yesterday, and gave me permission to share the fact that she's given $50,000 in support of this fundraiser that we're doing in New York, because she writes books herself about all kinds of people, all kinds of kids, and the dogs that they've met along the way. And just being able to facilitate that connection and have that happen yesterday or the other day was such a huge thing for me. So that's what we're making happen. So please, anybody reach out to me so I can help it happen for you too.
Thank you. And that's such a also great point, is sometimes it's just about finding the right mentor to help you along your way. Find the right organization, find what you're passionate about, learn about all the ways to get involved. It doesn't surprise me at all that law firm does 100% of its marketing dollars in the nonprofit sector. Romi and I built a whole business on it. That's how we didn't spend any dollars in advertising. We've boosted 0 posts. We've done no Google ads, and we're a digital media company, right?
There may be people out there who are saying, what could I possibly do? Well, if you've had a successful career, you could become a mentor. You said a great word. Mentors, we always need mentors. We partner every person who comes to our organization through our job readiness program with a mentor. And as I shared earlier, we served over 1,000 people last year. So imagine how many mentors. We have more people than we do mentors. So if you're interested, give us a call.
It's true. There's so many ways to get involved. Rome, what would you tell them? The master herself.
The
What
master.
would you tell our people, our audience, our community, our subscribers?
So first of all, like do something. Like honestly, do something. But first and foremost, you know, and I live by this, don't join a board to join a board. Don't join a board because you see the other people there might help you in your business. It will not serve you. It will not serve the organization. It will ultimately be the worst mistake. Find the cause that speaks to you. There is, to your point, thousands of nonprofits in South Florida. There is no shortage of people, organizations doing great work. You will find that you will meet the right people. It will help you grow personally, professionally. Like it is so infinite, the things that you receive from giving your time and your energy. You do not need to be someone that has to write big checks. Your resources is your ability, whatever that is. For me, it's connecting. So that helped me when I was working in corporate. I encouraged them to give all of the sponsorship money they would allot to me was going to nonprofits because I wanted to be around other people that wanted to give and not just give dollars, give time. So my advice is just find a mentor, maybe somebody like you, Lisa, somebody that can help direct you, but there is no shortage of ways to get involved and participate that is going to help you. Everything that I am today as a person, as a professional, as a mom has come almost entirely or significantly from my efforts of giving back.
I love it. And I'm going to leave everybody with a piece of advice because you know I'm not going to just not say nothing. No. My advice would be understand the gap you fill. We all fill a gap. We all have resources, skill sets, we have tools, and these organizations have gaps. Understand the gaps you fill and go out and fill them, right? For us, it was platform. We were able to amplify stories, amplify voices. We were able to create content and assets and collateral that a lot of these organizations didn't even have a social media manager. Let alone somebody to do graphic design and storytelling for them. I found our gap. We found our gap. You got to go find your gap. What gap do you fill? And go and give it. Go and close it for some organization in the community. And maybe that organization is going to be Dress for Success for you. I know Joe Ann's hoping it will be.
Better to give than to receive. Remember that.
But I want to thank you all for being here on this episode of Her Pursuit. Joe Ann, I want to thank you so much for being here on this episode, being on our last episode, sharing so much about Dress for Success and your journey with us. And we're just so excited for you to be our nonprofit partner. For all of you listening, she's going to be at our 4th magazine launch party. The Daily Drip is producing the Daily Drip magazine volume 4. Can you even believe? 4 years. This was volume 3.
So that's how long I've known you.
Yeah.
And we are going to be featuring Dress for Success in this magazine. All your ticket purchases are going to go, a portion of the proceeds, over on to Dress for Success. It's just another way that we're supporting the organization. And Joe Ann's going to be there with some of the Dress for Success team, and we're just so excited. And I want to thank you.
We're so appreciative. Thank you. That's very important. And remember, we lead with, we're more than the dress.
More than the dress. We'll see you back here on another episode. Oh, wait. More than the dress.
More than the dress.
Mic drop. We'll see you back here for another episode of Her Pursuit.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Her Pursuit.
You can listen to new episodes every other Wednesday on Spotify or watch us on YouTube. Stay in the loop on all our virtual and in-person events, read our latest articles, and catch new episodes by subscribing to our free weekly newsletter.
Check out the episode notes for more details, and we'll see you here on our next episode of Her Pursuit.